Hey guys, how's it going? We are starting today inside because I just picked up the coolest piece of furniture. I have to show you guys. It was a gift. It's this piece that's right here, and I just had to show you guys it because it is so cool. It's so unique. It does not match the style of our house. I don't care. It's just so interesting. Let me turn the camera around and show you guys, and then we are going to go outside and we're going to do a little bit of planting. But I thought that you guys would enjoy seeing this cool antique. So before I fully show it to you, we used to have this buffet and it was centered under the window and it was perfect. I don't know. I don't love it. I've never really loved it. It used to be our entertainment center at our old house and it was okay for this house. It just kind of made this space a little weird because we had it under the window and then we had all these blank spaces on the walls. And so it was just kind of awkward. We know this isn't 100% going to be our forever home, and so the furniture doesn't always fit, but we've had this forever, and I just have never fully loved it. This is going to be going down to my friend Janie's house. She absolutely loves it. She's going to use it as her entertainment center, so I'm excited that it's going to be going somewhere that someone will appreciate it and somebody that I know. I picked up this cabinet right here down at like an antique fair in Sacramento area. Love that. It's perfect for our house. It's craftsman style. Our house is craftsman style. We have all of this like original built in. Our house is over 100 years old and all of this is original. And I'm not going to show you too far into our living room because it's a total mess. But this piece I just got. So this was gifted to me. I'm not exactly sure how old it is. It's well over 100 years old, and I just think it is so cool. It's so unique. It's a secretary desk, and it's so interesting. The person who gave it to us gave it to me as a birthday gift. They had bought it and then just didn't fully love it, and they're like, here, if you want it, you can have it. I said, absolutely. It's so cool. It has the original paint on it. I will not be refinishing it. I will not be painting it. I will be leaving this as it is. So, suggestions to paint. You don't need to leave them because it's not getting painted. It's not getting touched. We're not doing anything with it. It's really cool because it's actually plaster and then it's painted. It's so interesting. It's got this mirror detail up top, and then inside there is a shelf in here. And then here, this opens up. There's 2 drawers here and then 2 drawers down here, smaller drawers. And then this is cool. So this opens up, and it's a writing desk, and then that's a little cubby in here for your little goodies, and then 4 drawers. And then these don't open up. This is just hollow. I think this actually might be like pretty solid in here, but you can see, look at this. So it's fabric, and then they plastered, and then they painted the plaster. I'm obsessed with it. I'm so happy to have this here in our house. So it doesn't actually fit the style of our house. It barely fits in the house as it is. It's quite wide, but it's so unique and it's so interesting, and I'm absolutely in love with it. And wherever we move to next, I will make sure that I have a proper wall that it actually fits on, but I could not be happier with this piece of furniture. I think it's so interesting. If anyone has information about it or can find a piece that looks like it, I would love to hear in the comments. I just think it's such an interesting piece. It's definitely one that we will hold on to for a very, very long time. It's a piece that I will cherish because it's so interesting, and it's actually gonna be really nice because we're gonna use it and we're gonna use it for storage. We have very, very little storage in our house, and so this is gonna be so nice because we just had the buffet that had 2 drawers and 2 cabinets, and the one drawer was all of my tech stuff for cameras and all that, and the other drawer was our junk drawer, and then the 2 cabinets were kind of unusable. They were kind of like a weird, they're really deep and they're kind of a weird size, and so they didn't really hold anything that was great. This is actually like cabinet space and then 4 drawers, and it's gonna be so much better. So I'm very, very excited about it. Let's get outside now and do a little bit of planting. I'm very excited to get in the garden today because it is overcast and it is so gorgeous out. Let me show you guys what I want to get planted. So we're in the side yard that I've cleaned up recently, and I've got some plants that I'm going to get in here. So this has been a really tough area for me because this is all like hot afternoon sun. It gets 4-ish hours of the most intense sun at the end of the day. And to find plants that are able to handle full hot afternoon sun only and not like a normal amount of sun is really tough. Plants that want full sun. Usually they want minimum 6 hours of full sun, and plants that need 4 hours of sun typically don't want the hot afternoon sun. So it's it's kind of a tricky situation right here. So I've got some things that I'm going to trial in this area. I'm going to assume that they're going to work. I'm just going to be like, you know what, plants usually figure it out. And I've got some things that we're just going to try. So I've got some perennials and some annuals that are going to go in this area. The annuals I might be able to winter over. Fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. Let me turn the camera around, show you guys what I've got to go in this area. I'm really, really excited about it. I've got 3 plants. So these are the plants that we're going with. I'm going to go with the clematis, a begonia, and this, I don't know how to say that, white caps. This one is new for 2025, so you guys should be able to find it in garden centers this year. Let me show you the plants. So I have 3 Surefire White begonias right here, and these guys are really cool. They get about 2 feet tall, and then they get about 1.5 feet wide. It says that they can handle full sun to part sun. So I've never grown a begonia that can handle a ton of sun like this, so I'm hoping that these guys do well. And my plan is to just kind of like tuck them around this clematis right here. This is a clematis armandii, and you can see this gets a little bit too much sun. See how it's all cooked? So it's not very happy. So I'm hoping that this will grow and fill out this area, give the roots a little bit of shade, give the base of the plant a little bit of shade, help this out. So I've got 3 of them, and we'll just kind of go like 1, 2, 3. I'll put one where that ball is. I've got some, I think it's Veronica tucked in right here, and I'm not sure that one's gonna be doing too well, but whatever. So we'll tuck in the 3 as close as we can to this, hopefully shroud this a little bit. Then I also have a Stand By Me clematis. This is a Stand By Me lavender clematis. These look like little ballerina skirts. They're so cute. I love clematis. And what's really funny is I've tried growing them in multiple spots in my garden, and a lot of them have died. I've got another Stand By Me lavender clematis. I planted 2 of them last year. These are growing zones 3 through 7. I'm in a zone 9, so technically this shouldn't come back for me. Out of the 2 I planted last year, 1 has come back for me. I'm so excited. But over here, I have a Stand By Me clematis. That's the one that didn't make it. It's behind me. And then I have a clematis armandii right there. That one, beautiful. It's an evergreen clematis. And then I have a clematis right there, and that one is called Diamond Ball. And I planted that one 3 years ago, and it always does absolutely fabulous. So I'm very, very happy with that clematis. And that one was kind of an experiment right there. And I just grow it, and I let it grow up the hose. I let it grow up the hose link, and I let it kind of grow over the AC a little bit, and it gets these big, huge white blue blooms. They're really, really pretty. So my plan for this one is to kind of plant it right here. So it's going to be 3 clematises in this bed. Whatever at this point. I mean, they're blooms, they're pretty, and they obviously do well on this side of the property. So I'm going to tuck it in right here. I will have to give it some type of support. This is a bush style clematis, so it's not going to be like your clematis that just like climbs and grows. They grow into like a vase style shrub. They kind of grow kind of like that right there. 38 inches tall. What I don't love is that these tags don't ever say the width anymore. I don't know if they used to or not, but 38 inches tall, spacing 24 inches. So I'm guessing that's probably about how big they get, 3 through 7. And then it says it's a non-binding. So it's literally just going to grow into like a vase shape, which is really, really cool. And then at the end of the year, you just cut it straight back to the ground. Very straightforward. There's a whole bunch of other clematises, like the clematis armandii growing above me. This one grows on, it blooms on old wood. So you want to do all your pruning immediately after it's done blooming. If you need to prune on it, there's ones that grow on new and old wood. There's ones that grow on just new wood. It's, I don't know, they confuse me when there's so many options. This one I know is a bush clematis, and you just hack her back to the ground, and she's good to go for the next year. Like I said, I'm in zone 9, and I got 1 out of the 2 to come back for me this year. So I will take that. It says that it grows best in full sun to light shade. The one that came back gets full sun. I'm gonna say, yeah, it gets full sun. The one that's over here that didn't come back for me gets more shade. So that was kind of my test. I planted 1 sun, 1 shade. The 1 shade did not make it. So very interesting, but they're really, really pretty. I absolutely love this clematis. And then the last one that we're gonna get planted. Oh, and here's my hoard. Here's everything I still have. Oh, so many more plants. The last one that we're gonna get planted today though is the Stokes aster. So this is called Totally Stoked Whitecap Stokes aster. They're very interesting. These blooms are all a bit faded, so they're on their way out. I will say I'm not loving the fully faded blooms. I mean, that's what they look like. But the new blooms are really pretty, and I don't see any like brand new blooms. These are all pretty pretty faded. They had a bit more pink to them. You can see in this photo, see how they've got a bit more pink to them? So faded, bit more pink to them. They're really, really pretty. Full sun, 26 inches tall. I have no clue how wide. It says spacing is 32 inches, so I'm guessing about that. Growing zones 5 through 9. Blooms early to late summer, so it should bloom all through the summer for me, which is really exciting. The blooms get 2.5 to 3 inches big, and they are quite large blooms. I'm actually really happy with how big these are. Things in the growing containers typically don't always show the true size of everything, so to see good sized blooms is really awesome. It says that it also thrives in heat and humidity, so if you're somewhere like in the south where it gets super humid, this would probably be a really good one. And it's a native to America, which is also really exciting. We love planting natives. Full sun and well draining soil is best. And it says that if you deadhead, that's best. So like these ones, I should come in and I should just kind of pop all of these off just to promote it, or just to like push it to push more blooms instead of it just holding on and creating seeds. So if you deadhead it, that's better. Am I going to deadhead it? I don't know if I'm going to deadhead. This seems kind of like a high maintenance plant, but it is very interesting, and I do like the blooms on them. So with everything, I'm going to go in with slow release fertilizer. I'm just going to dump in just a little bit, and then on my annuals, the 3 begonias, I'm going to go in with these GroTabs. I'm trying them just really on my annuals this year, just to see if that's like a really good boost performance on them. So far, I'm liking them. Only time will tell. I will let you know at the end of the season if I think that they are worth it. But for the most part, slow release fertilizer usually works really well. These are just so convenient, and they don't smell nearly as bad as slow release fertilizer. So let's go ahead and get these guys planted now. It'll be so nice to actually get some color in this side yard. Before I get those asters planted, I wanted to say, if you're using an auger, I get questions sometimes as to why am I using the auger or why am I using the shovel? In this instance, I probably should have used the shovel, and I chose the auger. Augers tend to really fling dirt absolutely everywhere. So now I have some soil inside of the walkway, which I don't want. I don't want to have any of that dirt in here at all. It's just going to let it so that weeds can grow. So I'm gonna have to try to get as much of that out as possible. And I also wasn't able to go as deep as I wanted. And then I wasn't able to, usually what I do is I pull the auger out and then I pull the trigger and all of the soil flies everywhere else and it's not an issue. I couldn't quite do that in this case. So now I'm gonna have to go through and kind of dig those holes out just a little bit with the shovel anyways. I'm gonna use my small shovel, but this is probably an instance that I should have used the shovel. I just kind of thought, oh, I'll just do the auger, it'll be quicker. And right now it was kind of a little bit more of a pain. But anyways, that's why I choose between auger and shovel sometimes, is depending on where I'm digging and if I'm okay with dirt flying absolutely everywhere. I chose wrong this time. Let's go and get those asters planted, and then I'll show you where I want to plant that last clematis. It's already looking so much better over here. Oh my gosh, it feels so good to get some plants in there. I still have a little bit of space. So I've got some space over on this side here, and then I have a little bit of space right there to tuck in a few things. So I gotta figure out what exactly I want, and I need to get it in the ground ASAP. I mean, it's growing time. So I'm very, very pleased though that I finally just threw something in. Whether they thrive or not, it'll just be nice to have something in here rather than this blank space. I just kind of needed to do it. I've got the 3 of these guys right here, the begonias. Really excited to see how those perform. I'm really hoping that they just really take over and then like fill out this entire area right here. They really should. They can handle sun and shade, I guess. So I'm hoping they can handle that hot afternoon sun. The asters, I did a little trio here, and then I did 2 a little further down the bed, just for repetition, I guess. I don't know. I was going to do all 5, and I was going to do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I was going to do them all right here. And I don't know. I didn't want to do that. I changed my mind after I started doing it. So I'm thinking I could probably tuck in some type of little annual here, and then a couple more annuals in here. So just kind of like create little, I want like flowing drifts of things. That's kind of the goal with this. And then the Stand By Me Lavender clematis right there. And that should fill out this little section. See this? I desperately need to get over here and wind this. That is Brent and I's goal for the next day or 2, is to work on this vine. It is coming down everywhere. When it grows like crazy, so you really have to be on top of it, but I'll finally get it to train across the window. It's gonna help with a little bit of privacy in our kitchen, and then I should be able to start training it across the wire right there. I mean, you can already see it's starting to grow up to the roof, so I gotta come over here and start winding all of that. But the goal is to make it so that this is just kind of like a ceiling of green, and you're walking through it, kind of magical, I think, right? And then I also found a random dahlia clump in here. No clue. It hasn't even started sprouting, which is kind of funny. I have no clue where up is. I'm going to assume this might be up. I'm gonna go plant it in the tall beds, in the jellybean beds like this. Yeah, random dahlia clump. And then my other plan for the day was to get this other clematis planted, and I was gonna plant it inside the landscape, but I have an idea of that I want to do. So I picked up some containers a while ago. A couple days ago, a week ago. Brent and I took some days off and we went out to the coast, and I found these. Killer deal. This one was $29, and I think that was $60, and that's a huge container. That one's a smaller container. And then I got a stand, and I'm thinking I want to put the clematis in this container. I think that'll be so pretty having it in a terracotta pot. So I'm gonna hold off on that because I want to do all of the pots together, and I've got a couple other pots that I want to pot up. So I'm gonna hold off on that because I want to put it in there, and I'm going to go ahead and plant this up, and then I think I'm going to just come over here and find something else to get planted today. I might plant, I've got 2 bee balms that I was going to use in the front yard, and I think I should just get those planted. But for now, let's go get this dahlia tuber, and it'll take 2 seconds. I'm going to grab just a little spoonful of fertilizer. I just realized that I don't think I have a single dahlia in this bed. So we're going to go ahead and just pop this guy, I think, right back here. I think that would be perfect. We'll just throw it in the ground and it should survive. We'll see what happens. So I'm just gonna dig this hole out. I've got my hole dug. Sprinkle in that fertilizer, mix it in a little bit, pop that in there like so, and cover this back up. The easiest dahlia planting. I have no clue what variety it is. I have no clue what color it is. I don't remember planting a dahlia over there. I feel like maybe it was 2 years ago that I planted dahlias over there, and they were unnamed from Walmart, but I don't remember. We're gonna plant it and see what happens. It should come up. The tubers looked beautiful. Kind of funny that there wasn't any growth on it already, because the ones that I've already planted, that I did start them inside, they have so much growth on them. Let me show you guys those, and then I think I'm gonna plant those bee balm. I've got 2 of them. I don't exactly know where they're gonna go, but I'll find somewhere. So I planted a whole bunch of start dahlias. They were teeny tiny, and you can see how much growth it's put on. And I mean, I've got some that are over there. They've put on some huge growth. And then I've got ones over there. Ignore the burn pile. We're burning it. It's so much fun to have fires in our fire pit. But I've got some over there also that are massive. Remember how I told you I shouldn't prune the boxwood? I pruned it. Sunburn, that's gonna be burnt until next year, until it puts out some fresh growth. Such a bummer. I shouldn't have pruned it. Anyways, these dahlias look the best. These look so good. They're so full and they were so teeny tiny. And I tend to plant them pretty close together so that they can give support to themselves. What I will do when they get taller is I will go in with a bamboo stake, and a bamboo stake, and then I will tie them so they can't really flop. So they will get huge, absolutely massive. I think 2 of those are white and 1 of them I started from seed, but they will get big, they'll fill out. It'll just be kind of a shrub of dahlias. And the goal is to get it so it kind of like closes you in, and I've got dahlias on this side that should also kind of close you in a little bit, lend us some privacy. These ones over here are doing so good too. I mean, the leaf structure on this one is kind of crazy. This one here is Pineland Princess. Very serrated, deep leaves on it. It's doing quite well. It's kind of flopped over. I didn't realize that stem. I should probably take that off, but I don't think I'm going to. And then these ones have bloomed a bunch, and there's a bunch more blooms coming on it. This is an orange one. I think that's Orange Perfection, 2 of them. And that one's bloomed beautifully also. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that dahlia, what color it is. It'll be a fun little experiment. Let's go grab the bee balms. I'll talk about them. And then I actually just kind of think I found a perfect little spot to just kind of tuck 2 of them in. Typically, I don't love to do 2s. I love to just do like a singular standalone plant, or I love to do trios or 5s or something like that. I picked the 2 of them up so that they could flank something, and then I ended up not using them. Had I known I wouldn't be using them, I probably would have bought a 3rd so I could do a trio, or I would have just done 1 single standalone plant. But I do have a pretty good spot that I'm staring at right now. So in this bed where the Pineland Princess is, I got this swath right here of the Super Genius Saffron, I think I did, Saffron Finch. And then I've got the Salvia here, and then I could just pop in the 2 of the bee balm right here. It's perfect. Just 1, 2, and that kind of just continues on this little like drift. And so I'll have something tall, these guys will get low and they'll fill out this entire area, and then these guys will be kind of tall. So it'll be like tall, short, tall, and it'll kind of be a little like sea, a little river right here. It's gonna be really pretty. I was gonna say a river of yellow. I don't want that though. Anyways, let me go show you guys the bee balms. I just got stopped in my tracks. Had to come over here and show you guys this. This here is Soul Sister, a gorgeous, gorgeous rose. This is a aged bloom. This one is the most aged bloom. Look at, you can actually see right here. This is perfect. Brand new bloom, open bloom, aged bloom. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that so gorgeous? So this is Soul Sister, and last year, the first year we planted it, it did amazing. We got a ton of blooms off of it. Second year, we got a ton more blooms. This year, it's just crazy with blooms, and this kind of started me being in love with orange roses, especially because this one is more like a peachy, creamy orange, and they start out this color, and they fade to the most soft, blush, peachy goodness, and there's just so many roses per stem, and then it holds on to them until they look like this, and probably in the next 2 days it'll drop those faded petals, and it does a really good job not holding on to any of its petals when they get really faded, so you don't see any ugly blooms, which is so nice. But I mean, come on, look at, they start out this beautiful red color. Isn't that gorgeous? It totally just stopped me in my tracks, and I had to show you guys that one. So I've got 2 of these guys right here. This is the Upscale Pink Chenille Bee Balm. They're so pretty. I love when they bloom. The bees go insane for them. It's insane when this thing blooms, how many bees just like flock to it. Let me show you guys the blooms really quick. I paid 19 bucks for these, and personally I think 19 bucks is worth it for a perennial, especially one that I know performs really, really well in my garden. So these are growing zones 4 through 8. I'm in a zone 9A. They come back pretty reliably for me, and they do so well in my hot sun. They can take full hot sun, and they don't have any issue at all. The blooms on these ones get 3.5 inches big, so these ones are actually quite large for the bloom size. I mean, I'm just loving the bloom color on that. They're so pretty. I'm really obsessed with pink. Full sun. They can handle partial sun, but they do perform the best in full sun. I have Freya here. I have Freya here with me to talk about this. So typically bee balm doesn't like fertilizer. I've never fertilized my bee balm. Ma'am, hi. I don't fertilize bee balm, especially when planting it. It typically doesn't. Ma'am, I have to pet her. I'll be right back. Okay, so typically it doesn't require fertilizing. You don't need to fertilize your bee balm. Usually what I've read before is that if you fertilize it, it actually can stunt the blooms. But this one on the tag says that it prefers rich, moist soil and full sun, but also grows well in ordinary garden soil and part shade. So the fact that it says rich makes me think that I should be fertilizing it, but I'm not gonna fertilize these ones. I'm gonna just get them planted. Aren't the clouds behind me so gorgeous? I'm just gonna get these guys planted though, just because this is really rich soil already, and I don't want to fertilize them. I don't want to over fertilize them. It already kind of made me a little bit nervous planting the other ones that I had in this because this is such good soil. So I'm gonna plant them, and I'm not gonna be fertilizing these. Just like that, we've got those planted. I think that's gonna be really nice because it's gonna be like low growing, but these petunias are gonna fill in this entire space right here. Ooh, it just got so bright. And then these guys will be kind of tall. It'll lead through a little window basically, kind of seeing, you can see what's back there. I mean, granted, you'll be able to see over all of this because none of these are gonna get that big. And then I've got this like low growing Yugo pine that should fill out this entire area. But I can still go in with some annuals around on this side, which I'm definitely gonna be doing. I think I'm actually gonna probably go in with some sunflowers or some scabiosa right in here. Just something tall. I need something tall in this area. So I think sunflowers and scabiosa would be really pretty right here. But I'm loving that. I think that's gonna be so gorgeous. I'm thinking it's gonna be like a neon pink, and then this beautiful soft buttery creamy yellow, and then I've got this like pink purple of the salvia right there. So that, my friends, is all that I have for you today. It was a great day. I only have a certain amount of time in the garden today, and so it was great to be able to get that side yard planted up a little bit, at least a decent amount planted up, and to be able to then get those bee balm planted also. I know that I was going to plant that other clematis, but I now am really excited for what I'm going to be doing with it by putting it in that container. So that should happen any day now. We'll see. You guys know how I work. Things just happen around here at some point. Anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for visiting our garden, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.